Hello everyone, it's me again. I just wanted to create a separate video that goes over the case presentation assignment that is due initially in week 6 for those who do have the assigned week. So the good thing is you guys don't have to keep redoing the assignment each week. You really only have to go to your assigned week, and I'm going to post a list of when each person goes, so you guys are aware of which week you have. Okay, so no worries. And if you feel uncertain about anything after this video, please feel free to reach out to me. So the case presentation is actually one of my favorite components of the course because I think it allows for you guys to really do some role play and some modeling of interventions you are using with a particular client, and it allows for you to really process what your interventions are and if they're being effective, and there's ways that you can improve. And that's kind of the ongoing thing that we as social workers do, I think, a good job of, is really self-reflecting and improving. So all right, let's get into it. So you are expected to discuss a case presentation with your field supervisor, right? So while the case presentation must be about your work with an actual client at your field placement, the video recording must be made with either your supervisor or classmate role playing the client. If your supervisor is unable to participate and you cannot find a classmate to work with you, that's when you'll reach out to me, your faculty liaison. And so I know I have had a few people reach out to me, and they might have a friend who's willing to kind of role play with them and kind of be in the video. And then it's okay if they don't necessarily want to show their face, but you can kind of hear their voice, because what we have is for any individual, and they have to be of 18 or older. For any individual participating in the role play video recording, we have to have written informed consent. And this is just good practice anyway, since this is what we do in the field. And you need to upload signed written consent from the form to the appropriate assignment upload page under major projects. So there is actually a section where you can upload the signed written consent for this assignment. And so I want to show you what that looks like. Let me scroll up. So this is consent for temporary recording, reenactment of client session. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill this out, and you're going to, whether it's going to be your field liaison, your field instructor who's going to be working with you, even your field instructor would have to complete this. So I know it seems kind of silly, like, hey, that's my field instructor, but we also want to have consent to do the role play with them as well. So whoever it is, you want to make sure that you put that in there where it says please print name. And you want to check off if they're just going to be audio taped or videotaped, or if they're going to be both. You want to check off both. And then the relationship. So sometimes I will kind of know and remember who your field instructors are, and sometimes I won't. So if you guys can just make sure that you're very descriptive, that would be awesome. And if it's your field instructor, you can put that in. If not, if it's just a friend or if it's a family member, that's fine. But under no circumstances are we allowed to use the clients. I kind of, in some instances wish that we could, just to get a more authentic moment. But, of course, there's so much that ties into that. So we are just going to stick with the role play for now. And so you want to make sure that you receive the signature of the participant and you sign it yourself. So that has to be uploaded. So if you are in week 6, this is something that I would work on getting this week to make sure that you just have it going forward. So this is what the form looks like. Let's see, let's go back. Okay, so those two things are going to be essential. So you want to have it surrounding things that you've been working on with the client, but it's not going to be the client themselves. So don't worry about that. Okay, and so let's see, let's go into, so there's 2 huge components to this, right? There is a video recording that is due during your initial post by Thursday by 11:59 or whatever week you're assigned. So for your case presentation, you're going to have create a videotape for about 5 to 10 minutes long where you work with your client in the client system. So the segment should include specific intervention skill that you are utilizing with the client. The intervention or skill should come from your text, whether it's Poland or Shulman or Walsh text. So it has to be evidence-based. It can't be, something that, you make up or something like that. It has to be clinically sound. So when recording the client encounter, focus the camera on you. So you don't necessarily have to go back and forth, or it could be just like this, and the person can be, in the background, and that's fine. But we want to see what your facial expressions are looking like. We want to know, your tone and those types of things. So those are things why we really want to focus the camera on you. As in all instances, when the case material is discussed in the course, clients' names and other data that might identify them should be omitted or disguised to preserve confidentiality. So for me, when I was doing my internships, I worked in an intensive outpatient drug treatment facility, but every client that I had was HIV positive. So that is significant identifying information, but also, so those are things that I would kind of leave out, and things that are of that nature that could be easily identified. If just based on the descriptions you're giving me, I can go and figure out who this person would be. So I would just be mindful of what you choose to include. So that was just an example. So if you guys have questions about what you feel like you could and cannot put, feel free to reach out to me. I can certainly prep you on that. So after you have recorded the video, you're going to upload it to YouTube. And I think you guys are exceptionally great with technology. And so what you want to make sure is that you set the privacy setting to unlisted and not public, because we don't want anyone else to get hands on this, or any of your clients, family members. I mean, just because, it allows for liability. So those types of things. So just make sure that when you present the case to the class in a discussion forum via YouTube video link. So with the video link in your initial post, describe the specific intervention skill used in the video and give an update to the class about any new developments, and comment on other aspects of the case not included in your written case summary. Describe below. So this is how you will be graded. So in professional appearance and demeanor, communication, effective intervention facilitation, skill intervention, and adherence to assignments. So just meeting the guidelines. So it's important that you guys, if you want to make sure you get a perfect score, you can kind of look through here to make sure you have completed all of those. And so the second part that I want to go into is the written case summary. And so this is going to be in addition to what your video is going to be about. This is actually going to be your second component that is going to be due the same week that you're assigned, by Sunday by 11:59. So you're going to have a brief case report, 3 to 5 pages, that includes the following organized used headings. So make sure you use the headings in APA format, and you're going to have your name, the practice setting description, identifying data, so describing the client. The client is a 44-year-old African American male who resides in Philadelphia. He currently has a low socioeconomic status, but is interested in enrolling in college. He does have a high school diploma, and those types of things. So that's an example of just kind of being very descriptive. So this is the place that you can do that for in your written case summary. The presenting problem, whatever that is kind of looking like, the strengths and challenges, and the case process summary. So you're going to briefly summarize the case process today, including the development and quality of the helping relationship and tasks such as assessment, goal planning, and contracting, intervention, evaluation, and termination. So you want to go through all of the heads, the headings right here, and make sure that you are including them in your paper. And so in your case summary, you will need to include at least 2 outside references. So this is important, guys. Please don't forget this, where you are pulling where your interventions and evaluating practice effectiveness. Okay, so, and they have to be published within the last 10 years to support aspects of your case summary and inform your work with your client. So for example, you could cite information from the polling text and to support aspects of the presenting problem or intervention plan. You can also cite information from your Walsh text to support your chosen theories and perspectives in your work with the client evaluating effectiveness. So this part of the case summary is intended to help you draw stronger connections between your own clinical practice and the evidence information that support your clinical practice. So if you want to use your 2 books, that's fine. Or if you want to use something that you've got your hands on that's evidence-based and is peer-reviewed journal, that's fine as well. So you want to make sure that you create a site page for that as well in APA format. And it also has the rubric down here that goes through your papers. So I know I threw a lot at you guys, but I hope that provided clarity. So this assignment is only due in the week that you're assigned. So if you're assigned for week 6, this is when that week 6, that Sunday, you would submit your paper to me in addition to your video that is going to be on Thursday by 11:59. So the other thing I wanted to know is that if you guys go into whatever week that you're assigned the case presentation, it will tell you that you are expected to respond to a peer. So you guys can kind of choose, as long as you have at least 1 response, what week you respond to. So if you're assigned week 6, you don't necessarily have to respond to week 6, although it might be helpful if you see someone else that is presenting as well their video. But I just wanted to give you guys a little flexibility in that. And so if you see that no one has any feedback on theirs, please make sure you have responded to at least 1 person who doesn't have any feedback about their video. And then in that week, it'll have the guidelines on how you present that feedback. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear because I know it doesn't necessarily say it in here, but when you go into the assigned week on your assignment, it will actually have that option for you to follow up and give feedback about the interventions that were used. So I know I threw a lot at you guys, so I hope this was helpful and provided some clarity. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and you guys have a great week. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.